Good morning to all of you. Today I am recording the lesson for the day 16. For this, I have prepared the PPTs also. Today we are going to solve some problems on the parallelogram law of forces, and if the time permits, we will also discuss about the Lami's theorem and problems on the Lami's theorem. In the last class, we have been discussing about the law of parallel forces, and we have also derived the equation for the magnitude and direction of the resultant, and also we have resolved the forces into their components, and with the knowledge of that one, now we are going to solve some of the problems on the parallel law of forces. So now I am sharing the PPT. So today's lesson is the problems, that is exercise problems on the parallel law of forces and also on Lami's theorem. So in the last class we have learnt about the parallel law of forces and Lami's theorem also, and we have derived the equations for the resultant of the two concurrent forces acting on a body. Now we will solve some of the problems on that, and now today we'll start with this problem. So this is a problem with the components of the forces, that is on the rectangular components. So now we'll take this problem. Determine the horizontal and vertical components of a force of 150 newtons acting on a body at an angle of 20 degrees with the horizontal. So this is a problem on the components of the forces. So we have to resolve the force in rectangular components, and we have to find out what is the vertical component and what is the horizontal component. So in this case the force is given and the direction of the force, that is the force at which it is acting, is given, that is it is making an angle of 20 degrees with the horizontal. Now coming to the solution part. First of all, we have to write down the given data, and with that, by writing the given data, we will come to know what is given and what is to be found out, and by using a suitable equation we can find out the unknown value. So for every problem, it is customary to write down the given data. Now, as a part of this problem, the given data is the force, the magnitude of the force F is equal to 150 newtons, and direction theta is equal to 20 degrees with horizontal. So always the equation we should consider the angle only with horizontal. In some cases they may give the angle with vertical also, but in that case we have to convert the angle only with the horizontal. However, in this problem they have given the angle only with the horizontal, that is 20 degrees with the horizontal. Now the given force is shown in the figure, that force F of 150 newtons making an angle of 20 degrees with the horizontal. Now we need to find out the horizontal and vertical components of this given force. So we know that the horizontal component Fx is equal to F into cos theta, where theta is the angle made by the force with horizontal. So here the F value and theta value is given. So substituting the F as 150 and theta as 20 degrees, then Fx is equal to F into cos theta, that is equal to 150 into cos 20. Then the value is 141 newtons. That is the horizontal component of the given force. Now the vertical component Fi. So the vertical component Fi is equal to F into sin theta. So that is equal to 150 into sin 20. So it is equal to 51.3 newtons. So now, so for the given problem, the horizontal component Fx is equal to 141 newtons and the vertical component Fy is equal to 51.3 newtons. These are the answers to the given problem. Now after this we will go to the next problem. Now this is the another problem. Here also two forces are given in this problem. Two forces are given and we need to find out the resultant of the two forces. For this, first take this figure. The figure is given like this. So one of the forces is acting at 60 degrees with vertical, having a magnitude of 300 newtons, and the other force is acting vertically upwards, having a magnitude of 200 newtons. So this is the figure. Now write down the problem. Obtain the resultant of the coplanar force system shown in the given figure. So here there are two forces given. One is the 200 newtons acting vertically upwards, and the next one is the 300 newtons acting at 60 degrees with vertical. So this is the given. Now we have to write down the solution, that is we have to find out the resultant of the given force system. So this also can be found by resolving the forces horizontally and vertically. So first resolving the forces horizontally, sigma h is equal to, here the given, so one is vertical force and the second force is making an angular 60 degrees with vertical, but we need the angle, only the angle with horizontal. So we have to find out the angle made by the force with horizontal. So we know that the angle between the x and y axis is 90 degrees because they are perpendicular to each other. Now, therefore, if the given force is making an angle 60 degrees with vertical, means the angle made by the force with horizontal equals to 90 minus 60, that is equal to 30 degrees. So the angle is the 30 degrees, that is the angle made by the given 300 Newton force with horizontal, because always we should take only the angle made by the any force with horizontal only we should consider. Now here we are, first of all we have to find out the algebraic sum of the horizontal components of all the forces, and then we have to find out the algebraic sum of the vertical components of all the forces. Then we can find out the result by using the formula. First, resolving the forces horizontally. So here 300 newtons is acting in the first quadrant and making 30 degrees with horizontal. So the horizontal component of this force will become the 300 into cos 30, and it will also act in the positive direction of x. So it is positive. So its value is equal to 259.8 newtons. And coming to the second force 200 newtons, because it is a vertical force. The horizontal component of a vertical force is 0 because it is making an angle of 90 degrees with horizontal. So the horizontal component will become 200 into cos 90. However, the cos 90 value is 0. So the horizontal component of a vertical force will become 0. So that's why we have not taken the horizontal component of that vertical force into consideration. So here sigma h is equal to 300 into cos 30, that is 259.8 newtons. Now resolving the forces vertically. Here we got two forces. So we got the vertical force and the other force is making some angle with horizontal. So first one is the vertical component of this 300 newtons is 300 into sin 30, and it will also acting upward. So in the first quadrant, so it is positive, plus the vertical component of the vertical force is nothing but the force itself, because the force will have only one component, that is the vertical component. So that is the magnitude of that vertical component also equals to the magnitude of the vertical force. So it is equal to 200. So sigma v becomes 300 into sin 30 plus 200. So that is equal to 350 newtons. So here we should one thing we should note. So the vertical force will not have the horizontal component, or the horizontal component of a vertical force is equal to 0. Similarly, the horizontal force will not have a vertical component, or the vertical component of a horizontal force is equal to 0. That we should know. So for that reason only here for the sigma h, here we got a vertical force 200 newtons. Therefore the horizontal component of that vertical force is equal to 0. So that's why we have not taken into account. Now we know that the resultant R is equal to square root of sigma h whole square plus sigma v whole square. So that is equal to square root of 259.8 whole square plus 350 whole square. So that becomes the R is equal to 435.88 newtons. So this is the magnitude of the given the this is the magnitude of the resultant of the given force system. Next we will move to the other problem. So this is also similar to that one only. So just I will explain the answer at once. So here first you take this problem, obtain the resultant of the coplanar force system as shown in the figure. In the figure there are two forces shown. So one is 400 newtons acting vertically upwards. Next one is the 600 newtons acting at an angle of 60 degrees with the vertical. So now coming to the solution part. So we should find out the angle made by the 600 Newton force with horizontal. So that is the 30 degrees. Then by resolving the forces horizontally and vertically, then we can find out the resultant of the given force. Here first resolving the forces horizontally, that is nothing but the algebraic sum of the horizontal component of all the forces. Sigma h is equal to 600 into cos 30, because it is acting in the first quadrant, so it is positive, and the other force is vertical force, so it will not have a horizontal component. Therefore sigma h is equal to 600 into 0.8660, that becomes 519.60 newtons. The next one is the resolving the forces vertically, that is nothing but the finding the algebraic sum of the vertical components of all the forces. Here we got two forces, so 600 into sin 30 is the vertical component of the first force, and it is also acting in the first quadrant, so it is the positive, plus the next one is the vertical force. So the vertical component of the vertical force is nothing but the force itself. So simply adding that force, that is plus 400. So this becomes 600 into 0.5 plus 400. So this is equal to 300 plus 400. So that is equal to 700 newtons. Now we got the sigma h and the sigma v. Now the resultant force R is equal to, we know the equation, R is equal to under root of sigma h whole square plus sigma v whole square. So R is equal to under root of 519.60 whole square plus 700 Newton, 700 whole square. So that is equal to the magnitude of the resultant force. R is equal to 871.77 newtons. So that is the answer. Next, we'll move to the other problem. Now, this is the problem on the parallelogram law of forces and also resolution of the forces. So here the problem is given. So in this case, we need to find out the magnitude of the resultant force by two methods. So one is by using the parallelogram law of forces, and second is by the resolution of forces. And in both cases, we should show that the resultant force acting is same. So whatever be the method, the magnitude of the force, that is the magnitude of the resultant force acting on the body, must be same. That we have to show. So now take this problem. Two forces, 260 newtons and 200 newtons act on a particle as shown in the figure. Calculate the resultant using A, law of parallelogram of forces, B, resolution into components. So this is the problem given to you and the figure also given in the space diagram, and in this case we need to find out the magnitude of the resultant of the given force system of two forces by law of, in the first case by using the law of parallelogram law of forces, and in the second case by resolution of forces, and we have to show that in both the cases the resultant must be same. So now we are writing the solution. So first we take the first case, that is by using the case A, by using law of parallelogram of forces. For this, we have to consider the first two figures. The first one is the given figure. Space diagram is the given figure, and here the 260 newtons is acting in the fourth quadrant and making an angle of 30 degrees with the horizontal, and the second force 200 newtons is acting in the second quadrant and making an angle of 60 degrees with horizontal. So with the help of this given forces, so now we can draw the component diagram, that is the second diagram. So if we take the second diagram, the force P is drawn as it is, that is 260 newtons acting at 30 degrees with the horizontal in the fourth quadrant. Now the second force 200 newtons is drawn in the second quadrant and which makes an angle of 60 degrees. Now we can simply find out the angle between the two forces. If you see here, the angle between the x-axis and y-axis is 90 degrees, and the angle between the 260 newtons and x-axis is 30 degrees, and the angle between the 200 newtons and y-axis is 30 degrees. Here the given 200 Newton force is making an angle of 60 degrees with horizontal. So the angle made by the 200 Newton force with y-axis is 30 degrees. Now the total angle between the two forces, that is P force and Q force. So by adding the three parts, the first one is the 90 degrees plus 30 degrees plus 30 degrees. So 90 plus 30 plus 30, that is 90 plus 30 will become 120 plus 30, 150. So the angle between the two forces is equal to 150 degrees. So the alpha is nothing but the angle, the included angle between the two forces is equal to 150 degrees. Now when we know the two forces and the angle between the two forces, then we can able to find out the resultant by using the parallelogram law of forces. So here the resultant force R is equal to, we got the equation, the magnitude of the resultant R is equal to square root of the P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos alpha. Here P value is 260 newtons and force Q is 200 newtons, and the included angle between the forces is 150 degrees. So now substituting these values, it becomes square root of the 260 whole square plus 200 whole square plus 2 into 260 into 200 into cos 150, because that 150 is the angle made, that 150 is the included angle between the two forces, and we know that cos 150 also can be wrote as cos 180 minus 30, and in this case, so this becomes minus cos 30. So substituting the same value here, 260 whole square plus 200 whole square minus 2 into 260 into 200 into cos 30. So its value is equal to 67600 plus 400 minus 900 66.6, and to we can add the all the thing, and we can solve by, we can find out the sum, and finding the square root of that sum, the value R is equal to 132.4 newtons. So this is the answer. So this is the magnitude of the resultant by parallelogram law of forces. That is R is equal to 132.4 newtons. Now we'll find same the resultant for the same forces by resolving into components. So that is guided by resolution of the forces. So in this case, we have to find out the algebraic sum of the horizontal component of all the forces and also the algebraic sum of the vertical components of all the forces. Then we can find out the resultant by using the equation under root of sigma h whole square plus sigma v whole square. So firstly, so if you take this the third figure, so this is the third figure. Here, when we are solving the same problem, the same two forces are shown on the x and y axis, that is on the four quadrants. Now you see here the P force with a magnitude of 260 newtons acting at an angle of 30 degrees with x axis and acting in the fourth quadrant. And the second force Q, the second force Q is equal to 200 newtons and it is acting at an angle of 60 degrees with horizontal and it is acting in second quadrant. So P is in the fourth quadrant and Q is in the second quadrant. So for this, for the force P, if it is in the fourth quadrant, the x is positive, y is negative. And in the case of the force Q, because it is acting in the second quadrant, the y is positive and x is negative. Accordingly, we have to find out the algebraic sum. And here also, it is very important to note that the angles must be only from x axis. So the P force is making an angle of 30 degrees with horizontal, and also the force Q also making 60 degrees with x axis. So these are things with the help of this summation diagram, then we can resolve the forces and we can find out the vertical algebraic sum of the horizontal component and also vertical components, then we can find out the resultant. Now this is the second method. So by using the resolution of forces, now resolving the forces horizontally and finding the algebraic sum of the horizontal component of all the forces, that is sigma h is equal to, here we can say the pH. So pH is the horizontal component of the force P. pH is equal to here P into cos alpha 1. Here it is equal to alpha 1 is equal to 30 degrees. So force P into cos 30. So force P is nothing but the 260 newtons into cos 30, and it is acting towards the pH is acting towards rightward, so that is nothing but the positive x direction, or we can say because the force is in the fourth quadrant, the x is positive, therefore its value is positive. So P, that is 260 into cos 30, that is the plus value. So 260 into cos 30 is the horizontal component of the force P. Now coming to the force Q, here the force Q, for the force Q, the horizontal component is equal to Q into cos alpha 2. Here the alpha 2 is equal to 60 degrees. The angle made by the force Q with horizontal. So Q means the 200 newtons. So 200 into cos 30. But this force is acting in the leftward direction. That is the negative x direction. So it is a negative one. And on the other way also, the force Q is acting in the second quadrant, in which the cos theta is negative. Whereas for the force P is acting in the fourth quadrant, in which the cos theta is positive. So the pH is positive. Whereas for the force Q, the cos theta in second quadrant is negative. Therefore, the QH is negative, and that value is equal to 200 into cos 60. So 200 into cos 60 is the component. Now the algebra sum means the positive values must be added and negative values must be subtracted. So here the pH is positive and QH is negative. Therefore, 260 into cos 30 minus 200 into cos 60. So it becomes 225.17 minus 100. So it is equal to 125.17 newtons. So this is the algebraic sum of the horizontal components of all the forces. Next, we have to find out the algebraic sum of the vertical components of all the forces. For this, again, if you see here, the for the force P, the vertical component will be the P into sine 30, and P into sine 30 will act downward. P into sine 30 will act downward. So that means it's negative. However, in the fourth quadrant, because the force P is lying or acting in fourth quadrant, in the fourth quadrant, the sine theta is negative. Therefore, the P into sine 30 will become the negative. So that is nothing more the vertical component of the force P is 260 into sine 30 and it is negative. So 260 into sine 30 degrees, that is negative value. And coming to the force Q, here the vertical component of the force Q is equal to Q into sine 60, because the angle is 60 degrees with horizontal. Okay. Now here the sine Q into sine 60 is acting upwards. So it is in the positive direction. On the other way also, because the force Q is acting in the second quadrant, and in the second quadrant the sine theta is positive. Therefore, the vertical component of the force Q is positive. So the value is equal to 200 into sine 60, that is a positive value. So 200 into sine 60 is the positive value of the QB, and whereas PB is negative. Therefore, so here the algebraic sum will become the QB minus PB. That is nothing but the 200 into sine 60 minus 260 into sine 30. So it is equal to 200 into 0.8660 minus 260 into 0.5. So it becomes 173.20 minus 130. So that is equal to 43.2 43.2 newtons. So we got sigma VH 125.17 newtons and sigma V as 43.2 newtons. Now we can find out the magnitude of the given resultant force. R is equal to under root of sigma h whole square plus sigma b whole square. So that is equal to under root of 125.17 whole square plus 43.2 whole square. So its value becomes 132.4 newtons. So this is the magnitude of the resultant force of the given two forces by using the method of resolution of forces. Now here the value R is equal to 132.4 newtons, and this in the previous case by using the law of parallelogram of forces, the magnitude of the resultant R is equal to 132.4 newtons. So in both the cases, the magnitude of the given force system R is equal to 132.4 newtons. So it is tallied in both the cases. So in this way, we can adopt any method, either parallelogram law of forces or the method of resolution of forces to find out the magnitude and direction of the resultant of the given force system. However, the parallelogram law of forces is applicable only when two forces are acting with some included angle between them. If we know the included angle and two forces, we can find out the resultant. But the method of resolution of forces can be applicable when any number of forces are acting, even more than two. So 3, 4 like that, or any number of forces, or any number of forces. So we can find out the magnitude and direction of the result of the given force system. So in this case, however, only to check by two methods, that is by parallelogram law of forces and by method of resolution forces. So we have taken two forces. So this the resultant of these two forces can be found by parallelogram law of forces and also by method of resolution of forces. So in this case, so we have found the resultant of the given force system, and in both the cases the resultant force is tallied and we got the same answer, and that the amount of resultant force, that is the magnitude of the resultant of the given force system, that is 260 newtons and 200 newtons, is equal to 132.4 newtons. So this is the answer, and in this way we can solve the problems on parallelogram law of forces and also by using the method of resolution of forces. So due to the time constraint, so we got another problem, but due to the time constraint, we can't able to take up the other problem, and that problem we can take up in the next class. So up to here, now coming to the summary part, So now up to here we have covered some of the problems on parallel law courses and also the resolution of courses, and we have packaged some of the problems on the components of the forces. So the force is given, we have found the horizontal and vertical components, and also we have found the resultant of a given force system by using the parallelogram law of forces and the method of resolution of forces. So once again, here we must note one of the important point that in case of the method of resolution of forces, the angles made by the forces must be only from x-axis taken into consideration. So in the problem they may give the angles. Some of the angles will be given with y-axis in the problem. So they may mention the angles made by the forces with y-axis. But we have to convert that angles to x-axis. So all the angles must be only with x-axis, and then only we have to submit that angle value in the equation, and we will get the correct answer. So always we should consider the angle only from the x-axis. So this is about today's lesson. Now I'm starting the sharing of this PPT, and thank you all of you. I'm ending the lesson.